Any public comments relative to agenda items? Any public comments relative to agenda items? Hearing none, we'll move on to the third item on the agenda is the election of a chairperson. Are there any nominations?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Wolf.
I would like to nominate John Bizzano for the chairperson position. John has been a mayoral chief of staff, a council president, and town and city clerk of the city of Hartford. He's got a reputation as a leader, a consensus builder, and I think those are great attributes that he will bring to the table as chairman, and I urge all of my colleagues to support him.
Very well. Thank you very much. Is there a second?
Nomination.
Second by Commissioner Torres. Any other nominations? Hearing none. All those in favor of the election of John Bizzano as your chair, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Congratulations.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for your support. We'll move on to the fourth item on the agenda, which is the election of a vice chairperson. Do I have any nominations for vice chair? Yes, Commissioner.
So I nominate Commissioner Avery Buell for vice chair. Avery has been on, I don't know how long you've been on MDC, Avery, but you've been on, I think at least as long as 5 years. So you have tenure now. But no, in all seriousness, Avery has always been a dedicated commissioner. He's dug in, done the work, and I think he would be other than the fact that he is willing to serve as the vice chair, I think he would also be a very good one. So I'm happy to nominate him for the role.
Is there a second to that nomination?
Second.
Second. Wonderful. Okay. All in favor of Avery Buell being vice chair of the government committee? Say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Congratulations, Commissioner Buell.
Thank you, Commissioner Bizzano.
Look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
Item number 5 is the approval of the meeting minutes of December 4th, 2023. I have a motion to accept those minutes.
Second.
Okay,
So moved.
thank you. Has been made, seconded. Any discussion on those minutes?
Okay.
Somebody?
Yeah, I think it's water.
Okay, motion has been made, seconded. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion. One abstention. Motion passes. Item number 6 is the consideration and potential action regarding the appointment of legislative consultants. I will turn that over to our district counsel, Chris Stone.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chris Stone, District Council. What you have before you is a lengthy agenda item and resolution concerning both our state lobbyist team and our federal lobbyist team. I'll go with the federal first. It's that we have retained for the past several years the firm of Squire Patton Boggs, in particular ex-Congressman Bill Schuster, to represent us down in Washington. They've done an exemplary job and have always been available to us as necessary. Have been particularly important in moving along the Colebrook River Dam issue and extricating us, the MDC, from our agreement with the Army Corps of Engineers. The fee that they're charging this year is the same as last year and the year before. It's $150,000 per year. The second federal lobbyist is SPG Strategies, and that is Steve Bonafante. Steve's contract on the federal level in 2023 was $70,000. I'm recommending that we move him exclusively to the federal level, which would entail taking his $25,000 per year that he was paid in 2023 for state lobbying and move that over to the federal, which is why you see the increase from the 70 to the 95,000. It's a net amount of zero to Steve, but we felt it's important. I certainly feel it's important now that we're to the last, hopefully the last part of our working out of the Colebrook agreement, that he concentrates solely on that federal lobbying. He's going to be down there monthly between now and the fall. In the fall, there's a what they call a worder bill, and I'm not sure what that stands for. I'm sure Scott knows what that stands for, but it's basically a federal public works bill. And Steve has been helpful, along with working with Bill Schuster on developing an amendment to the worder bill that hopefully will be heard in the fall, August, September of 2024. There's a lot of work to be done in advance of that. A lot of work has been done. But each month we're going to go down, or Steve will be down there to monitor what's happening, to meet with congressmen, not just ours, but also Congress people that are on the committees of cognizance for that amendment. So this is the year that hopefully we'll find out one way or the other whether that part of the, we've had success already with the abandonments and other things, but whether that part of the task is going to be at hand. So that's the recommendation on that. The other change, you have Janice Fleming with strategic outreach on the state level. You have Brendan Fox with Gaffney Bennett on the state level. And you can't replace Steve Bonafonte, so don't get me wrong, but to take over for him in terms of his state obligations, I'm suggesting only for the 4 months of the session. So it's a short session. We're talking February, March, April, May, that we retain the firm of Levin, Polano, and Christ. That's Jay Levin. He's a former state senator out of the southeastern part of the state. Mike Christ is a former representative from East Hartford, but retaining that firm at a rate of $3,500 per month. The total payment for 2024, and again, for those 4 months, is $14,000. That would come out of the legal budget. The monies that, and there may be some machinations we have to go through process-wise, but the $25,000 that Steve was getting paid out of the state is coming from the legal budget and going over to either the board budget, or where we'd have to do, whatever we have to do to get him paid that. $14,000 is within my budget and will come from that. So there's no change in what you all did in 2024 for this year's budget. But I think it creates a good, solid team. It focuses our energies with Steve on the work he's got to do at the federal level, provides us sufficient support during the term of the legislative session. And then we always have Janice and Brendan, who work all year round on lobbying efforts with the legislature or with departmental agencies within the state of Connecticut. So I think it's a pretty good team, very good team. And I'm asking for your support for this recommendation to the board. It'll be on the agenda one way or the other on the board's agenda for Monday, so we can get them going. Chairman Pizzano and I have talked about bringing them in to see you. It was a little premature to do that without having them retained, but bring them in after Monday at a date and time convenient for you and the rest of the committee to really get into what's happening in this session. As you know, in most cases, with some notable exceptions, but in most cases, we're defending as opposed to prosecuting. We're defending efforts by others as opposed to seeking changes to our charter. Now, there are times over the past several years that we've had to change the charter for a variety of reasons. But in most of our work is on defending initiatives, not because they're misplaced initiatives or brought in bad faith, but just that in many cases they're not necessary. And I'll leave it at that without commenting further. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Questions? Yes. Commissioner
How do we manage that program internally here so that there is one person who keeps tab on it, and that person, in my opinion, should have an engineering background, and they can constantly look at it, identify the issues, and every bill it comes in, and then seek your help, get to them, so then there is a constant conversation on that subject.
If I might, Mr. Chairman.
Of course.
Thank you. Chris Stone, District Council. It's an excellent point. And we've been very successful in funneling all those issues. We meet once a week during a session, every Tuesday. Anyone's welcome to come by. It's in a legal conference room at 9:30 on Tuesdays. All of that information is funneled through me, sometimes through John if it affects, specifically things relative to FOI or some other issue, but initially through me. Scott's staff has been, sometimes, I'll be honest with you, Scott's staff uncovers something. Tom Tyler's has uncovered things in the legislature because he gets notice of what's happening out there through his associations, which we would miss because we're not in the business, right? Lawyers aren't in the engineering business or the public works business necessarily. So they've been helpful. They bring it to our attention. We then feed it through our process. Scott's been involved with that with the associations that he belongs to or represents the district on, NACWA, American Water Association, things like that, that they're tuned into. So ultimately, the buck stops here and the lobbyists work through my office and through me. Staff comes to me with what they know, but we always get, fortunately, as you can appreciate, much of what we have to look at, whether it's on the funding issues, capital projects, the issue we just had last year with the North End of Hartford program for the laterals, that is engineering intensive, and we couldn't have had success there, nor would we have success in other places, but for the work of Scott and his staff. So they're intimately involved in all that we do when it comes to that the technical part that you're talking about.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, just to add to what Chris said, so we're members, most of our staff are members of all different organizations on the water side, the sewer side, and every one of those organizations have a lobbying arm. And we're all copied on, across the nation, we're copied on all, not just state issues, but federal issues that are affecting the water and wastewater industries. So we're very cognizant of what's going on in the industry, and we work with Chris and his team all the time on those issues.
Encourage your members, staff members, to go to those meetings, give them allowances to go there, participate. They bring back the information, come to you and come up with some suggestion how overall things directly affects to what we do.
If I may, again, my staff, Chris, Tom, we were in Boston this week for NUIA conference, identical, lots of discussions about PFAS in the water, PFAS in the sludge. So yes, we're very in tune to what's going on in the industry.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, then I will entertain a motion to accept the resolution and move it forward to full board with a favorable recommendation. Moved.
Second.
Seconded, thank you. Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor of moving this forward?
Aye.
Any opposition? Any abstention?
Chairman, I abstain.
Abstain, one abstention. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you all for your attention to this and your support. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So item number 7 is just as an opportunity for the general public comments. Anyone here from the public? And item 8 is the commissioner's request for future agenda items. Anyone? With no other business on the agenda, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Quick. Good job, John. Thank you. Yes, I get it.